parked in there. Another place I can park the car, most people just park them out here. But I know the farmer well. My father knew every farmer going, thank God I got to know them all as well, so I can always put the car somewhere safe and off the road. Crayfish, all anglers, crayfish, boat users, allow crayfish cause diseases. There was a time when they used to tell you the crayfish was a sign of a clean river. Now they tell you they cause diseases. Yeah, nothing about the pesticides getting into the river, or all the hogweed that they be spraying along the river banks when they're spraying that hogweed. They're pouring into the river. So we blame the crayfish instead, that's what we'll do. Anyway lads, I have the fire rod with me. I'm going up here now, this is the Newport River and I'm going up it. The water can be very soft up along here now. It's a great spot like when there's a flood in it. But no one really goes up along it much these days, but I used to always go up along when I was a young fella. Got many a salmon, many a pail up here, let me tell you. Most people come in now and fish that hole there. There's a great hole for all fish, all that great old great water there for fishing. But I never really liked it. I got a net fish out of it, but I don't like fishing in places that someone else is always haunting. But if I see a fish on there now, I would give it a shot. I mean, I'll try and do something to stop this camera banging a bait and slapping. She's took a lot of tumbles, as I said. And what if I stick something in there, like so? No. Oh bad, no, I just got to make sure the focus is in properly. Not sure. I'll clear her up in a minute anyway. Well, that's a good old hole. Now I fished it in that time, as I said, I got a net fish out of it, but there's most likely fishing there now this minute. But I'm not going to bother fishing that. Because anyone that comes up parks there, they'll go in there and they'll try that hole. So I'm going to head on up along there. There used to be a tree there years ago, the fishermen stand under the tree back in the 80s now. The great stretch of water this used to be. Still not too bad, but sure the river's always changing. Watch him there. One of our own native spiders, look. That's the thing, you have these fast black widows in Ireland and they're poisonous now. If they bite you, like, you know what I mean, you kind of hurt you. You will wind up in the hospital, your finger getting infected and everything. So I mean, it's not advisable to be bit by them, so I don't know why they're calling them fast black widows. There's nothing false about them. But a lot of people in are killing our own spiders because of that. They kill every spider. I mean, to say, like, it's just ridiculous. I mean, all you gotta do is know your spiders. Fast black widows, they stand out a mile. Anyway, lads, see all that? It's nothing but a gravel bottom. I swam it all, I walked all them rivers when I was a child. This is the Newport River now, the water's clear. It always gets good for fishing when the water clears, but it has to be evening or early morning. That's why it's 5:30 and I'm out now this evening. I got out after work, I got the gear in with me, I have the whole lot with me ready to go. So I'm going to go up along here to a couple of spots I know. Yeah, Morris Troy used to love this old spot. My great-great-granduncle, man, a legendary fisherman he was. My father and his son, Troy. His real name is Patrick O'Keefe, but everyone calls him Sonny Troy, Son Troy. So if anyone knows my father, Jack Charlton and all, sure asked my father to fish with him. Up in Galway, my father fished with Jack Charlton up in Galway, but Jack wanted my father to do gilly for him, but you know, around Ireland my father said nah, he wouldn't do it. My father showed many men how to fish, but he'd never take anything for it, like, you know, and he'd only show genuine people who had respect for the rivers. And in fairness, Jack Charlton is, well, he was a legend at one time, and he does respect the rivers. So that asked him to do my father to do gilling, but as I said, he said no, look, he wouldn't be into doing that. But he fished with him a few times up in Galway. Now see over here, lads, tell about this little spot. It's pure shallow on this side, but over there you have big rocks. I thought I said over there now it's about 7 foot deep along this side over there. Here look, it's only a foot deep if that. Over there, all along there, it's about 7 foot deep. Good place to hold a fish, very hard to fish it, that's the only problem, very hard to fish it. This was known as the Monkeypuzzle. Well, we're going now up to, they say you're going up to the Monkeypuzzle because there used to be a Monkeypuzzle tree there years ago. It's gone now. So that's why it's called the Monkeypuzzle. The water's very dead up here now, like, but I mean, as I said, I know some wicked spots up here now. I know some great spots up here. And so we'll see. It's a nice grand evening now for it. Now look, it's nicely overcast. And it's getting cloudier. The temperatures are dropping, so I'll go up here and I'll give it a shot. There's places up here I'll stop the amount of fish I got up here down through the years. I often walk down from Kinlagariff above. My father would be above fishing with Tony Brown, another legend of a fisherman, Latimer and Tony, and my father. And they'd be fishing above and there'd be no sign. I'd walk down from Kinlagariff all down along to the Monkeypuzzle. I often walk back up there with a salmon and 2 pair. Back in the days now, they were in the mid-80s. Any sign below, and I'd say, I did, yeah. I got 1 salmon and 2 pair. Ah! And at the time now, like, there was no such thing as monofilament net, so the fishermen, the bit of damage the fishermen do was nothing. But oh, they said, look, we'll tell them when we'll go on halves with you. I said, you're nice, alright, you'll go on halves with me. At the time now, I was only about 14. You see? I was 13, 14. No, that's how this river has widened. See, it's a few years since I came up here now, so that's another big hole all along there. And all the years I fished it, I never got 1 fish there. But that's a deep hole, I guarantee there's fish all the way up along here, there's fish resting. Some people love it now, they get fish there. I used to fish a bit further up here on the high bank years ago. Used to go into a narrow channel. Man, you could look down and see the fish in it. But again, the river has changed as it does. But look, I might give that a run in a while. There's always a few trout around there. A bit hard to throw a fly up along here now, but sure, I'll try. So look, I'll get back to you in a while anyway. So I'll spare up the memory card again, as I said. It's a beautiful evening, so we'll keep it lit. Like it's jungle up here, lads. Oh, all live on the town. There's all hogweed there now, you see. The sprays that along the riverside. 3rd-degree burns after that now. There's a touch here of juices in it, touch that and you get 3rd-degree burns. As I said before, I'll say it again, it doesn't have no effect on me. I got destroyed in it when I was a child. So I became immune to it. Oh, I became immune to it, so it doesn't have no effect on me now. Ah, it's, man, the whole river's changed. It's a couple of years since I was up here. Thought it was overgrown. Fuck me, it's off the chart. I had no place to try and fish a fly, I can tell you that. I head up further and fish it back in a while. I don't know about how much fly fishing along there anyway, lads. That's the truth. You see, when the fishermen used to fish the river, they'd cut the trees back. They wouldn't cut them back completely, they'd cut them back, leave cover for the fish, maintain the riverbank. That's what they used to do, and if they see the riverbank falling apart, they do things about it. Nowadays, no one maintains the river, it's just left go wild. Now, it's nice to have things wild, but sometimes wild can cause blockages, like that little tree's going nearly across the river. Same down here, it's all tree there, it's crossing the river, same below. So, always holds fish though. I can guarantee there's fish up along that. So I'll try not to make too much noise, or there'll be nothing there. So I'll get back to you in a while again, lads, so we'll keep it right. A beautiful evening now it is. Temperatures are just dropping and all. So I'll go up here to an old haunt I know. I often have hooked up in this corner up here when I'm going to. I often hooked 10, 15 fish back in the day when they were travelling. They wouldn't get them all, like. They'd hit the bait, bang, or in them for a few minutes, seconds. You know what I mean? Gone, next for a bang in him, gone. The fish will be travelling. See, this is the Newport River. It rises fast and it drops fast, and the fish come into it very fast. As well, the main river over the Mulcair, it rises slow, it drops slow, the fish can take their time coming into it. But this Newport River always gets good runs of fish. I remember one day up there and way up along now past Kilgariff, a fish one day followed in my bait bites. Fish was about, I know a lie, about 20 pound weight, man. That beamer, he was like an otter coming in behind it. I was in a youth lad, my heart nearly stopped. I was used to getting fish now, but I was only about 15 at the time. My heart nearly stopped, the jaws coming at me. But that's all he done, he followed it, he wouldn't take it, he followed it in. And usually when they followed it in, they don't want it, if they wanted it, would have caught it the first time. So I said I'd try him with the worms. So I did, but no, he had no interest in looking at nothing. There's horses up here now as well, by the way, big thoroughbred horses. So anyway, sure look, said it was a majestic evening. I'm up here, sit down and have myself a cup of tea. I used to keep walking out, I'd walk on up to Kindergarten. Paddy Marley's, Harry Richardson's, where I was the other day. There's a couple of miles up the river now. So I'm only going to walk about a mile and a half away from the car up the river. So that's the jungle now, trying to get in there again, look. The river now is behind all that so-called fir bushes. Or not fir bush about them, I forget the proper name of them now. But someone here on this channel will know. But so on we go. We get in up here and we'll have a little look and we'll sit down and have a cup of tea and we'll see what's happening. And I'll mess with you people. There's literally no way into the river. I have to bust my own way in. There's nothing but fir bushes and fucking thorns. Well, there you go, see that's gonna do it. Now the break in gear and get started ready. So I have to get in there, man. You know, miles on my way to get to where I want to go. It's all overgrown beach style. By the time now the fishermen again, we keep all them fir bushes cut, tied with that gaps so we can get in and out. Them days are gone, it's just like a jungle up here now. A lot of going nice to get into the river, I can tell you that. It's literally 50 feet thick of fir bushes. Oh lads, the ghost again. Can't get down around the ghost. How am I going to do this? Fuck lads. That's the fucking wilderness. That's all I've been getting, but I know this was fish that's worth the effort. That's where that fish snapped. Must be no Sasquatch in there, what? Fucking great stretch of water that was. Great, you can't throw fly, see look. If I could now I'd throw a fly in there, but the only thing your fly be going now is straight up in the trees behind you and staying there. Not many a salmon along this stretch of water, boys. Many a fish, boy, I can tell you that. I think I'll go in here. Yeah, guess what? Well, the sun now's not doing me no favours, but so we'll sit down and have a cup of tea anyway. Look at it lads, how could you go wrong? If I don't have fuck all. Away from everyone. Out in the middle of nowhere. And it's like a jungle behind me, I'm not messing with you, you can't get through there. Jungle. You go down there on this end of the road, so not before bushes and thorn bushes and there's a beautiful little spot I'm in here now. So I said I'll try to mount the fish because there's a rock over there, man, you can see it from here. Always holds the salmon behind that rock, boys. To come down here with the lark glass, batting it down the young flash, boom, That's him, Sam. You get £5 and £6 a pound for fish back in them days, like. I mean, I went out and got a fish there and got 50 quid from back in the 80s, 50 quid. I mean, worked half a week's wages for that. There he is there, look, fish out there, look, small fish. Could have been, no, let's say it was a small fish. Could have been a trout too, no, but it definitely looked like a small fish to me. So, out there he is, boy. Yeah, I saw it's a few fish. He's a small fish anyway. But so look, it's a sign of life. Again, bit snaggy along here, you can tell there's trees everywhere. So look, we make a cup of tea. Yeah, that was definitely a fish anyway. That was definitely a fish. So I'll get back to you now, lads, time for the tea. Sure, how we know, boys. I didn't even bother putting the rods together yet, lads. Sun is shining. I was hoping it's that cloudy, but there's a bit of sun breaking through, so I'm going to wait till the sun goes off the river. Because if you put any shadows on the water, you might as well go home and forget about it. So it's a grand evening. It's a grand evening to be out having a cup of tea and enjoying life. As I said before and I say it again, you only live once. I wouldn't hold your breath in me catching anything today now, lads, but you never know. If the clouds come in, there's a lot of dark clouds off that way. If they come on in over 6 o'clock now, I get an old hour's fishing off in the wild called the golden hour. So drinking tea I'd be, lads. Might get to try to fly further down. We'll soon know hope it's on a flying here. The cup of tea, the old Irish breakfast. Where's me spoon off, lads? Where's me spoon off? The sangers. Spoon off, lads, me spoon off. What's the old banya? As I said before and I say it again, never bring a milk, you should always bring it in a glass bottle. Keeps it a lot fresher. You can obviously even the water to stay cool if you like. Plus, you can always drink it if you get thirsty. Time for the singer. There's a robin redbreast coming around me there. I throw for the bits of break down for him. The robins are brave, as you know. On your legs they land. See one fish on small pail out there. There's a great stretch of water. It's deep. The whole way up along. Deep as in 5-6 feet deep. A lot of cover. Great place for fish to hang out. Not joking, I don't know if you can see that tree in camera, but that tree straight across there, I remember when that was only a sapling. Size it now. I should get fish underneath it all the time. Small tree, but there's a big rock underneath it. The fish will always hold behind it. Salmon always held behind it. If there's a pail there, the salmon come on and push them out of there. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a salmon over there now as we speak. drop out that. Didn't hear no thinking my father or the messing him. Tony Brown, Shane Brown. All great anglers were. Shambles, the good old buddy, he died years ago. Got killed in a truck crash. Passed the truck and hit a wall and went out for the windy lot of messing him. Another good friend of mine, Shane Arden, a lot of messing him, used to fishing when I was 15, 16, he's dead a long time as well. The last man standing, lads. I'd be lost without nature. Lost. If I didn't have nature, a river, and my children. If I didn't have my children, I'd be ghost for living in a city. But if I didn't have nature to come out amongst, I'd be ghost as well. And not to mention our Lord God, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Saviour. Even though they try to get people not to believe in that, so they can indoctrinate you with all the satanic stuff as well. These singers they have on stage, they dress like whores. They call themselves singers. Really, they're whores that can sing, and they want your children to mimic and sing like them. Local radio then. Good morning, it's your local radio. Now here's some satanic whores for your children to go on and sing and dress like, and they call it fashion. The children are going around all confused and they don't know if they're boys or girls or what's going on around the place anymore. Fashion's another word for destroying your children. Not my children, because I wouldn't allow it to happen, because that's what good fathers do. They step in, it's called tough love, it's called you listen to me. What I says goes, and when you're 18 you can make your own decisions, and until then I'll be making them for you. Make sure your children aren't on all that TikTok and all that, that's all. And Spybook, Facebook, they're all there to watch what your children are wearing. It's recording your house, it's recording what clothes your children are wearing, it's recording everything in your house. It's the whole layout of your house is going up in camera, and it's going into a big data file. That's why if you notice you might chat about something and 5 minutes later you get a pop-up on your phone telling you about something you were just talking about. How do you want to buy a new one of these? You're saying to one of the boys the other day, all the ads they put in TV, in all my years, I don't have a television by the way, I didn't have a television in 12 years. It's a monitor I use and I watch YouTube. And I choose everything I watch, I choose to watch it, and I choose everything my children see. Because if you keep their minds safe now, don't let them be corrupted while they're young, then you have a hope of protecting their mind. Not just their physical being, but their soul, their mental being and their soul. Obviously feed your children good organic food. Don't be drinking the stuff that come out through your tap at home every day. You get that for free because it's full of chemicals, that's why. During the Second World War, Hitler used to give that very same stuff that you tell you drink 8 glasses a day of to keep the prisoners of war docile, so they wouldn't get up to do anything. Just sit down, mound out of it. That's what FLUORIDE does to you. I don't want to get into too much, lads, because I'm really taking away from the beauty of what nature. Why come out here? That's not. Don't think for 1 minute any of that came out of a tap. What's in that? Because it did not indeed. And don't think that's your normal knock. That's all organic. Same with bread. If you're buying bread, make sure you buy bread that goes off within a few days. You don't want bread that stays fresh for 5 and 6 days. There's a preservative in that. Your bread should go stale after a day. You should get it fresh there and it should be starting to go stale tomorrow. And if it's not, then you're eating food that's full of preservatives. That bread will be stale by tomorrow or the next day. It's fresh now, won't be in 2 days' time now. Fella on there now telling you all about how to be multi-millionaire and how he's known as the nicest guy going. Why don't you give some of the way to the starving of the world? So here's your lucky dear, he wants you to get on his jet now and fly around and listen to his shit. I went to school right out in the comprehensive. I was always thinking and using the brain, right? They used to be come first and flabbergasted. How this fella's so clever. How they should be thinking about these things. And remember one day the teacher saying to me when I was 13, they were saying like, look, I'm trying to say this without being big-headed, but they said, look, if we work for most of the class, we'll let Niall chat about whatever question you have to ask him. They used to tell me you'll be a philosopher in the UL here in Limerick. One day, Niall, you're going to be a philosopher. You'll be philosophising. You'll be a lecturer. And I said, yeah. If you just read them books. And I go, sure, if I just read all them books, then I wouldn't be. I'd be brainwashed, wouldn't I? Because I'd only be telling the same what you're saying on the books. That's all I'd have in my head. So that's why I can't think, because I don't read all the crap that you're trying to force into my brain. Yes, you need how to read, write, maths and your history of your country. Who needs to know about the history of the rest of? What do we want to know about kings and queens about England? What do we want to know about them? What did they ever do for us? We should be teaching us our own history. That's what you should be teaching us, and our own geography. Yes, a little bit of knowledge of the world, but we don't need to know about King Henry. We don't need to know about fucking to be or not to be or whatever his fucking face is. Anyway, what I said to the teachers is I have a question, and if you can answer it, I'll read the books for you. They goes, go on, go for it, Niall. I said, in all the technology, in all the science of the world, and everything that you say you know, and you have it all figured out, and God, by the way, is barely around these days. They wouldn't be telling there was no God, but the way the system is now, oh, this is all called Darwin's donkeys, Darwin's theory. I said, listen, to the teacher, listen, I told him as a child, I said, look, if I give you the cleanest soil on the face of this earth, I give you the sunshine, the cleanest water on the face of the earth, blue skies, wind and earth, everything I goes, I give that to a scientist in a science lab. Give him everything he needs. Can he grow me one blade of grass out of nothing? Even though I provided him with the sun, the cleanest earth man can provide, the cleanest water. He has everything at his disposal, but he gets no seed. None. Now, can he grow me one blade of grass? Can he? In all his wonders and all his technology and all his brain power? I gave him everything. I'm giving you everything that's needed, but I'm not giving you the seed. One blade of grass. Can you grow me that? And the answer is no, they can't. Kind of like I used to say to him, can you answer me which came first, the chicken or the egg? Of course they can't answer that either. But yet they tell you they know it all. We know everything. Sure now, lads. Don't want to do your head in. That's one of the reasons my channel got taken down, terminated after 12 years, because these are the things I used to talk about. Just telling you a little bit now, like, but use your brain, look around you, use your five senses, believe your eyes. Don't mind him saying don't believe your eyes. Yes, believe your eyes and believe your senses. Stop listening to the fake news. Protect your health and protect your children. Most of the children today, they're telling them to have this disorder, that disorder, the other disorder. The nation, the children are growing up on drugs. That's what they're growing up on. I mean, you go into your GP, he sends you down to the local drug dealer / pharmacy to get your drugs. He doesn't say how many here and I fix you. No, he just provides you with a slip to go down and get your drugs from the big pharma companies who have their drug stores or drug dealers on every other corner. That's what he does. I got the flu 3 days ago. Bad, started getting a bad sore throat, runny nose. People said, why don't you go into the chemist and get a limsip or get something? I said, I get nothing, even though you can hear it, barely me. I started 3 days ago. Yesterday was the roughest, and I have a video up me out fishing yesterday. I kicked him when I got home, the sore throat and the cough. I did nothing for it, not a thing. Woke up this morning, the throat feels a lot better, the flu is gone away. I feel perfect again. 3 days. Guarantee you know if I went into the chemist, they'd say, here, take this, take that, take the other thing. Big business. I look like I'm going to be catching much within. Never say never, lads. Never say never. We're robbing around there. The robins get queer and brave. Once the robin trusts you tall boy, up there like that, look, he come on and land in your hand. The only reason he's not landing my hand out is because he's not used to me. It's my first time up here in a few years. Fished below, fished above, but I didn't come up here to the thick of it. It's so hard to get in here. But he'll come around in a while. When I get sick, I never take nothing for my flu or sick. I never take nothing for sickness. Nothing. No, God, never. I went into my doctor there one day. It was because I have sciatic on my back. Thank God it hardly ever comes at me. Because I crashed a couple of motorbikes, fell off motorbikes and things when I was younger. And when you're a child, I often fell off of verandas or extensions and all that cracking. But sure, look, make long story short, I went into the doctor and he says to me, where have you been? And I goes, what do you mean, where have you been? He said, where have you been in the last 7, 8 years? I goes, I've been here in Limerick City site, that's where I've been. He goes, but how come you haven't come in to see me? I said, because I wasn't sick. He said, you weren't sick in 7 or 8 years. I said, well, I got the flu and it came and went like. I said, but I didn't see any reason that I needed to come in to see a doctor like. All right, yeah, maybe you should make more come in more often. I was saying, for what? Come in, I don't need to come in. He was stunned that I didn't go into him. I know some people that goes into the doctor, it's the sniffles and they're inside in the doctor's office there, they're getting medication. They're wondering then why they're ghost. They ain't all fast foods then, and crap food and all the likes of that then, and they're wondering why they're not healthy then into the bargain. And all that fast food is the cheapest crap you can put into your mouth. I don't get sick, thank God. My children are young, I get the flu off them from time to time, but boom, comes, it goes, like that. And I smoke about 3 roll-ups a day. That one roll-up I have that I have today. All day I have the same one roll-up. Lights up, goes out, leaves it out. Lights it up again, few hours later. Gonna top up the old cup, lads. We'll top her up in another cup of tea. Let the old tea back in there, like, you get me? Let the old tea back in there, like. So, I'll have another cup of tea later on now, lads. That's what I'll do. It's good to be out in the fresh air. So with that said, man, I'll talk to you in a while. So watch this magic, I'm going to vanish. Fish has the breath in here. Let's hope the fish could have been a trout now as well. The harbor was after one that way. Sounded like he's further up there, but I'm not going through that jungle now to get at him. Yeah, you know, I can see the ripples above he did. I'd have to be willing to find the lead water now, boys and horses. Fish broke out there. Harvest was fish, as I said. So I got back in the wild, I'm back in the wild. Went to all I like over the time. Into his mouth. I'll show you what I got that down up. And I went to it right over there between them two trees. That's a great spot for fish. It all is, but usually around there as well. You throw your bear out and it hits it around the centre there. Only thing is, I said, there's no flow in the water. So I did. There was a foot of water now, the big grand little flow in it, but the water's low. The bog is gone off, you know, the water's clear. So you fishing this in the bog now, even if the water's high, but if the bog is on it, the fish just won't pull in the bog. You'll get it, the odd one if you're lucky. I often did, but it's hard going to get one in the bog. This river's great. If you get a big flood and the bog clears, but there's still a sup of water on it while it's clear, you get good fishing off it then, but it has to be early morning or evening like now, because the water's clear, the fish can spot you obviously. So this river, like when the bog comes on it, you're just wasting your time no matter what fish are there. You, like I said, the chance you get one are very slim. You might, but you'll work hard for it. You'll get tormented. As the bog comes down on that there, that water will be like wine it does. All the old lines, when the river drops, all the water, the water that comes off the bogs pour off into the river then and changes the colour to a winey looking colour, and it makes the fish sour. They just won't pull. As I said, you'll get an odd one that'll pull, but that's it. They usually have to be fresh balls of silver now to get an odd one to pull. But the water's clear now again, so you could meet a fish. I wouldn't be getting my hopes up now, but you look, it's called fishing and not catching. See, I know a big snag out there now and I'm stuck in it straight away. I got off, thank God. So I'm back again, lads. So I went way up along and I fished it down. You can't fish the fly. The fly was getting caught in everything, just dragging it on in my hand is what I'm doing. Seen one or two fish up above alright, but they're in around a lot of trees like this, you know what I mean? It's very hard to get in around and fish them, and even if you do hook them, you're most likely going to lose them, so it's not worth your while. Because the last thing you want to do is be breaking the gear and leaving it in the fish. So I'd rather not hook them at all. You see that tree there? I remember when that tree that's going over the river, I remember when that used to be that size there. You could put your rod around it. Way back when. So as I said, yeah, so I'm going to fish it on down now. That's what I'm going to do. So I went up and I fished it down. I seen a couple of fish. But as I said, I didn't even bother. I fished what I could, but where I see fish in places that I thought no. Because if I hook them, I'm not going to get them. I'm only going to wind up busting the gear and leaving it in the fish. And as I said, the last thing you want to do, there's one thing I can't stand is leaving hooks in fish. I'd rather not fish them at all and just pass them on. If I can't get them in the place like what I think I can get them in and release them, I'm not going to hook them for the sake of it. Right, so we're going to grab the rods and we're going to head on down, lads. So, stay with me. Well, lads, I can tell you one thing. I'm going down here now, I'm going to give another half an hour. I mightn't have got nothing, but one thing I did get is nettled, spiked, thorn and thistle to death. That's one thing I definitely got. It's a jungle, like, the place is just a jungle these days. That's what it used to be, like. And that's the river there, you can't get into it. That's not the trout. It's great for holding salmon up along that, like, that's the river bank there. Before you could get down there now and there'd be a couple of thorns here and there and fishermen would have them all cut back and kept tidy. Now, from here, for a kilometre, you can't get onto that river. I suppose it protects the fishing one, but I know we can get into them. Unless you're willing to go through hell and high water like I just did a minute ago. But in general, I suppose in the long run, it's a buffer zone for the fish. But it just goes to show you that the fishermen aren't here anymore. Like when I was a young fella, you come up here fishing, there was no such thing as flask, like no one had a flask. Like you'd come up and you'd smell the wood burning in the fire. You'd know so one of the lads is above fishing, and there'd be a couple of fishermen dotted around the place and they had the fires lighting and a cup of tea and they're chatting away and about the ones that got away, the usual, like. Even to get through here now, like, it's a just complete nightmare. But as I said, in one sense it's good, because it's a good buffer zone for the fish now. Like, all that was great fish. Like, you could fish all the way up along there. In the most of where I was, I had to go through hell and high water to get in there. Then there's nothing but trees all over the river, so you can't really fish it. As I said, I went up and got into one or two spots just about, but I did see a few fish breaking and showing, but I didn't bother to near them. Like, look at this, lads. Like, God knows you're stepping down or you could go. God knows how far down into the towns they're going to go. Oh my God. Like I said, this is just, look at this. My God. This is, there's not a hole, like. I try, but in all life, even when you do get in, you probably can't even fishing now. Like, the thorns are up to my waist now, up to my neck. One of my men up to my neck. There's the nettles overhead me. As well, there was a time now that was all fishing. As I said, I'm fucking torn living life here, lads. You don't want to put a snake boots coming out here. So you can't wear the waders. When you walk in waders, you'll be sweating buckets. Waders alright for wading out into the river, but not for along the riverbank. Better off just in boots, walking boots. Or short boots. I say I might be able to get it up here. I'll tell you one thing, lads. I'll tell you, this is called torture. There's one else spot here. I'll have to get in. Give them an hour for an hour, half an hour. Right, I'll explain to you. See, after this is the way, this bank used to be like that. Walkable grass, the whole way up along the way. Now it's just a jungle. So you see what I was in there, when you step in, you're just up to your neck in nettles and thorns. So there's very few places left to fish, but the upside of it is it gives the fish plenty of shelter to rest up and be left alone. It's all deep down this side now. 7 foot of water all along the side here. Out to the middle, then it raises up into about 3 foot of water on the other side. The only thing is, You'll be meeting trout there now as well. Shall I give it a whirl for a few minutes anyway? I'll give it 5 or 10 minutes. See how we get on. It's a majestic evening anyway, lads. It really is a majestic evening. See, before now you could just walk down there and you'd be able to walk all along the bank the whole way up along. Now you have to get out here and you have to walk for a kilometre before you can get back in again. But as I said, at least it's a buffer zone for the fish. So, you could throw a fly down already if you wanted to. Only thing is water's very shallow on the far side, you see. So you want to be over there throwing your fly over here to the deep side. So look, we'll keep on late anyway, lads. Looks like my memory card is running low again, so I'll talk to you in a while. Right, so lads, I'm back to where I started at the hole that I said I don't usually fish. I said I'd try it now on the way back. My last cup of tea. Time's now 8:15, so about 15 minutes left in it, so I'm going to fish there for the last 15 minutes. In all my years fishing, you never really get fish when it starts getting too dark. Like now is cut off time, and I'm going to give it another 15 minutes, but I never ever got fish after cut off time. Now some people might, you'll get trout in the night, pitch black on the fly. Don't ask me how they can see the tiny fly. You'll get white trout in the night. I've never ever caught a salmon late when it gets like any time around now is cut off time. But you can catch trout all night long, but salmon, no. Now some people might have, but in all my years fishing I never did. But be careful now, don't fall off into the river. I remember one time my father fell. He came home soaked, he went out fishing. It would have been in the springtime, he fell into the river. He had to come out of it, like. Remember as a child that was very amusing. I wasn't there myself when it happened, but sure the fishermen used to be jeering him over it. Sam, you're going in swimming again today? In the middle of February it was, and it bitter cold up in the Shannon River. But a little handy tip for you, if you ever do fall into the river with waders on you, never put your feet down and try and come up, because your waders will fill with water and drag you to the bottom. If you ever fall into the river with your waders on, keep your legs up like you're trying to do the backs, like we were doing no lying back in your back. The air gets trapped in your waders and it keeps your feet up above. So all you got to do is kind of back pedal towards the bank. But if you stand upright and try and swim, them waders fill you up and pull you to the bottom. So there's a handy little tip for you there, boys. If you didn't know, you know now.